I have us live on Facebook.
Welcome everybody to Facebook.
Alrighty, let us start with some introductions. Since Tustin is our guest of honor, you can go first.
My name's Tustin Ulrich. I'm the general manager of Roper Kia and Roper Mitsubishi in Joplin, Missouri. Been in the car business since 2006, January 2006. Spent the majority of my time at this store. I was gone for 2 years because the previous general manager here fired me, and I left for 2 years. But I came back, and now I run the store, and it's good. So that's it.
All righty. Greg, you want to tell us about who you are, what you do?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been in the car industry since 1985, so going on 35 years, actually 35 years, already. It's amazing. 33 years I was involved in retail side of the dealership, anywhere from starting when I was a young pup in sales all the way through the management process. And for the last probably 20 years, or 15 to 18 years, I worked as a general manager at dealerships, working to help underperforming car dealerships improve on their production processes, marketing strategies, and turn them around and make them profitable. Kind of like car rescue. I call it car rescue, but that was my role as a general manager. For the last 2 years full time, I do consulting work around the country. I do speaking engagements around the country, talking to dealers about how to be profitable the right way, how to build a good foundation for dealerships, and in all aspects of it, fixed ops, sales ops. But we work with key managers in the dealership and dealers on turning their stores around and making them more profitable. Even stores that are profitable, how to make them more profitable to live up to their potential on all areas, marketing, sales, all of it.
Right. And you do a wonderful job of that.
I sure try. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. For those who don't know me, I am Shasta Haddock. I run Epic Sales Events. I am the team lead. I have been in the car business since 2014, so the past 6 years. I've been with the sister company to Epic Sales Events SCP agency since 2015, and am looking forward to staying in the car business as long as I possibly can. So I want to hop, for those who are attention deficit like I am, I want to hop into the biggest question first, which is to Tustin. What do you love about working with Epic Sales Events?
There's a few different things. So I'll give you, before I just dig into that, if that's okay, I want to give a little background on what this store has done traditionally, just so you understand our depth of experience in different sale types. So we've done traditional mailers, we've done price-seeking mailers, we've done buyback event mailers, where you're trying to get trying to cultivate business outside of your normal group of customers. And so in all of those, I think the highlights I picked out of Epic that I like, one, it's super fast. I think the big downside that a lot of companies is that to get a mailer that's successful, that's going to work, that's not just super generic, it takes 3-4 weeks of lead time. It takes a lot of work to get it ready to go. That, and the expense is high. There's cost in putting a piece together. There's cost in, the print house and mailing and all of that stuff. And that comes pretty expensive at a per piece rate when the return's going to be so low. And the really hard part is the only way you see return on that investment is if somebody walks in with a mailer. So, that's why I think return rates are so low. It might drive a little additional traffic to the store, but if they don't walk in with a mailer in hand, you don't know if they came because of it or not. What's nice about doing an Epic sale with it being Facebook driven, once our ads go live, I'm following those ads. I'm watching comments. I'm sending messages to Shasta and Robin. Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? We're talking about those things ahead of time. But, in my case, you can spool up an Epic sale in 4 or 5 days. I think I could probably say go today and we could probably have one ready for next weekend. So, that's what I love, that flexibility of it, that you guys are prepared. You can spool it up quick. The second thing I like is, in my mind, people are really good when they're focused on one task. So here at Roper Kia, we have a really good BDC. they do a lot. The BDC drives about 60% of the traffic we do at our store. However, I will say an Epic sales event lead is a different lead than what I'm bringing into my store through other means of advertising. So what I think would be difficult is to flip the switch mid-shift, midday, mid-lead. I just dealt with 5 leads that were my traditional normal come in for an appointment leads, and those went okay. Now I have to handle 3 Epic sale leads. You got to talk with them through Facebook. You've got to call them. They're just different to get in. So I also like that the Epic team handles all those comments for you. They handle the traffic. They set the appointments. They do all those things for you. So my BDC can stay focused on the task at hand. My BDC can stay focused on what I'm asking them to do every day. I'm not breaking them outside of their box. And I watch Epic bring the appointments in. So those are probably the 2 biggest components I like about it. And cost. It's cheaper than all the mail sales we've ever done here. So that's that helps too.
Absolutely. Greg, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about that, about Epic Sales, the things that I see. So I don't do in the consulting world. We always look for great ideas and things that are happening and try to stay ahead of the curve. I think one of the reasons I've been able to sustain for 35 years in this business is we don't do business like we did in the 80s or the 90s or even back in the 2000s. Everything changes, and it's going to be different 5 years from now. But here's what I'll say about what I like about Epic, and I really have gone out and recommended this to a lot of dealers. I have literally dozens of dealers that have had these Epic sales and had great success with these sales. And the big reason is social media has become a huge platform, even more so now than ever. Right now you have, a lot larger audience because of the things that are going on. So when you think about why would I want to do a sale right now, the reality is your audience is captive and you still want to do business. And if you can pick up an additional 15 or 20 deals over a week or 2 week period of time, there's a big advantage to it. So here's what I really like about Epic. Couple things to top what Tustin said. It is a lot less expensive than a direct mail piece. The other thing is it has pivotability on a dime. In other words, if the marketing is because they start their ad campaigns so early, what happens is they start out a week before the sale actually begins. If the message isn't getting, if it's the wrong message, they can change the message. You can't reprint direct mail. But you can change a Facebook message within 5 minutes and have a different message out there on Facebook, that a different call to action that may be working. The other thing is you may have a bad zip code or you have to worry about the mail drop. In this case, you don't have to worry about that. You can change the pin drops. My understanding is Epic changes the pin drops. If they're not getting enough leads or traffic in one area, they just move the pin drop to a different area in that locale on the dime. And so you don't have to, you have a lot more flexibility. I've seen that time and time again with dealers, and that's what they come in about. And then to follow up again, you don't necessarily have to have a BDC. If you're a dealership without a BDC, you don't have to have a BDC to do an Epic sale because they have a virtual BDC that not only sets appointments, confirms appointments, and all you have to do is be ready to come in. And then I think the last thing that I really love, because I come from a sales manager and a general manager's perspective, is all the other direct mail sales have a lot of hooks. They have the giveaways, the raffles, the gift cards, the free lunches, all the gift seekers that come in. What I love about Epic Sales is there's none of that involved. There's no raffles. There's no, hey, come in and spin your wheel. There's none of that stuff. And what makes that advantageous to the customer and to the dealership is salespeople have a tendency, and managers have a tendency, oh, they're just here to get, that's Fred here to get his free lunch or get his free, Walmart card again this month. But that's not what these people are. These people are really coming in because they're seeking a solution to get into an upgraded vehicle, a nicer vehicle, or a problem that they need solved and help with. So that's what I like about what you're dealing with. It's people that come in with the vouchers from an Epic sale are there to actually try to do business and go home in a different car, an upgraded car. And that is more encouraging to the salespeople because you're working with people that aren't just coming in to get their try their key in a car stuff. It makes the validity of the sale much more smooth. And I see managers, salespeople, customers, everybody a lot happier with that type of sales promotion. So.
Absolutely. So Tustin, I know that we talked quite a bit about how you feel the sale works for you, but I want to touch on something a little bit more specific. The traffic that you see at the dealership during that sale. Can you tell me about what you see at your store?
Yeah, sure. So the traffic is much different, just like what Greg was just saying. The first type of traffic. So this store for 3 years on a consistent basis, did a prize seeking type, a free lunch, spin the wheel, come in and get your $10 type of sale. And we got to the point where customers were calling and asking when sale weekend was so they could come eat free lunch. I mean, it's just you have to understand the type of customer that you're marketing to, and that customer is going to take advantage of that situation. So the second type of sale that we did was we've switched to a we'll buy your trade type of sale. So it's very targeted. It's better credit. It is still expensive per piece, but that customer also is walking in and saying, hey, I'm thinking about buying a car. So it's a little higher quality lead, like Greg was saying. In the first sale with the free lunch type, your staff, I feel like you're spending the majority of time trying to convince your staff that they need to convince them to buy a car. So it just becomes a little more frustrating because that's the battle more than anything else. Your showroom floor is full. There's a buzz out there. But if all your salespeople think everybody's here to just get free lunch, they're not going to work the leads as much as they should. So we did that second sale that was a buyback event. It worked okay. The Epic sale, I mean, like Greg said, these customers are coming in looking to do business. So that's the difference. It's the amount of traffic per sale is way less. The amount of opportunity. I mean, some of the sales where we were doing prize seeking events, I have the numbers in front of me. We were averaging in 2018, we averaged 210 opportunities per weekend on one of those sales where somebody was coming to get prizes. On an Epic sales event, I'm probably averaging closer to 125. So I would say it's a little more than half of the traffic, but we're selling more cars off the Epic sales events than we were the prize seeking events, making more gross profit, and the ROI is better because the event costs less. So I wrote down some numbers just to share. On the prize seeking sale type, those sales were pretty expensive. We still had a 341% ROI. So those sales still performed. They weren't bad. They just weren't as good as they could have been, and we knew we could make it better. The buyback event that we did, the second mailer type sale that I found, it did 594% on average. So it did pretty good too. I think anybody that's in the auto industry, if I said, hey, I can guarantee a 600% return, you're going to be pretty happy with that. We'll take it. And we partnered with Epic in kind of its baby stages, so it was, even with that, even with some of the bumps in the road in the very beginning, it's been super successful for us. Since we started with Epic, our ROI is just over 900%. So, I mean, it's performed better than any other sale by far, and been a little easier to put on, I feel like, too. So
that I didn't even know that number, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I know that Greg touched on this, and I remember that we had this issue, which, I mean, you can't be amazing if you can't admit when you've messed up. Do you remember when we had the issue where we accidentally targeted the entire state of Missouri?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to kind of touch on that and the ability, if something had happened like that with a mailer sale. Greg touched on it a little bit, but the ability to change that with Facebook, do you see that as a huge plus?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's when you do a mail sale, when you lock into something like that, you are locked in. And if you make a mistake, even if the company makes a mistake, I feel like they're not going to give you a free sale. The next sale might be 30% off or whatever. And it's frustrating because you gear your team up, you rally the team. We have a kickoff meeting at the beginning of every month. Hey, we got this sale going this weekend. We have this sale going this weekend. You get your guys pumped for it. And then usually I like to target those sales for the second and third weekends of the month because I want that middle week jump so I can keep momentum going. I get all these guys pumped for a sale. A mailer goes to the wrong zip code. Now all my guys are all pumped up and there's no customers. They're going to deflate, and it's going to be really hard to rally the last 10 days of the month. Once you guys caught the mistake, it's an easy flip of a switch, and then you guys fix the problem, and then we move forward. So, the flexibility of being able to pivot in 5 seconds is massive.
Yes, I completely agree. You talked about getting your guys pumped up and getting them excited. And something that I found exciting that I want to talk about is I believe during the last 2 events that you had that you broke some records with the store, smashed some of them actually. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So we had biggest single day in the history of the store in February, in both units and gross. And then we had biggest single weekend, that same weekend in February, we did that. But when I look at sales gross totals, I mean, the January Epic sale was our biggest Epic sale to date. And then in February, we just smashed it again. So, it's continuing to produce traffic and results.
Absolutely. And that is music to my ears.
Yeah.
Awesome. Greg, did you have anything that you wanted to add before we jump off here?
Oh yeah, real quick. I think Tustin says a lot, and it's always great to listen. What I love about this, talking about Epic Sales, you can hear about people giving sales pitches all the time. Tustin and I, neither one are salespeople. We neither one work for Epic Sales. I refer by the dealers and dozens of dealers that I've referred this program to, and I don't refer a lot of programs in the consulting world because otherwise we come across as salespeople. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a consultant. I guess in the car industry, I'm always a salesperson, but I really do believe in Epic, and I think he said some key words. We know that attitude's 90% of our business, and some of the things that have happened in sales in the past get guys a little bit down. Whether you have a staffed event where you bring in people, give up 25% of your gross, you're paying for salespeople, you got all the headaches of a staffed event. I'm not saying that some of those aren't good. Some of them are good out there, but I'm just saying there's a lot of headaches that go with that. There's a lot of stress with the direct mail. And quite honestly, I think the big thing I'm going to say right now is with everybody in their stay-at-home stuff and limited, and I know car businesses are essential businesses in a large part of the country. Right now, and I thought about this, Epic sales are a good thing right now. They may not be record breakers right now, but I'm going to tell you, because it's such a captive audience right now on Facebook, and this is where it largely targets, if you could pick up an extra 15, 20 car deals, that ROI is still going to be probably 300, 400% right now on an Epic event because it's a lot less. Nobody's listening to the radio right now, folks. Nobody's really in TV. They're watching the news or they're streaming. So there's really no good place to market except Facebook. And so how do you get a call to action? You do an Epic sale over a 5-day period. I think that we've expanded. I think you guys have expanded during this time to a 5-day sale because we don't want to get a lot of people and just spread out the appointments. You can't have a lot of people in the dealership. No more gatherings of 10. So this really works for dealers who are saying, what can I do right now? Here's what I do know. If you sit around, if you come to an escalator and the escalator is not working, do you stand and look at the escalator or you start climbing the steps? A lot of people are standing and waiting for the escalator to start again. That may not be till June or July. What are you doing? You got to start climbing the steps. This is an inexpensive way to invest in good productivity right now on Epic Sales. And I tell you, I again, to a captive audience, and the nice part is you don't have to hire a bunch of BDC. You don't have to hire staff. It's a turnkey deal with Epic Sales. You get the whole thing. You get the marketing, the BDC. All you have to do is, meet the appointments, greet them kindly, treat them through your process, and deliver the car, and then count the revenue after the sale's all over.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys so much, especially doing this on such short notice. And you guys have a great weekend.
We'll do it.
See ya.